can't tell if I like the decals or if it just looks like my tree is having like a bad hair day or something. Hello guys and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be building a little matcha tea stand. My vision for this area, I kind of want to have like a giant cherry blossom tree kind of like covering the whole area. This is kind of the little space that I have for myself to build it. Also ignore my little character over here by the mailbox. I have no place to put my mailbox on this plot, so I really need to make a spot, but I figured today I would do something a little bit different and walk you through my process of how I build things. Okay, so honestly, I don't really know where to start with this build. I think I'm gonna start with the tree because that's kind of like the main part. I don't know how big I want it to be. I'm just gonna try and make like some sort of base and see where that goes. Maybe that's good. I don't know. I'm sure I'm gonna like delete this and change it a lot. But I do have like an inspo picture up on Pinterest, just something I found. And now that I'm looking at it, it might be AI, so I don't know how this is gonna go. I'm just kind of making it up as I go, but I guess this can be the base of the tree. And then maybe I'll just try and build some branches coming off of it. I think I'm gonna move it back a little bit because I can't build out too far this way because it can't come off the plot. So I need to be like careful with how much space. Actually, maybe it should be like over here, maybe? I don't know. Yeah, I think that's a better spot. Is it blocking my train? This tree here might need to move as well, just to make space. Okay, I'm just gonna build it on top of a basic shape so that I can move it because I don't wanna like build the whole tree and then have it in a spot that I don't like. And then I can copy and paste it and have more than one giant tree on the plot. So yeah, okay, I hope that we can copy and paste the whole thing, like it'll work. Okay, yeah, that should be good. The picture that I'm looking at has a bunch of branches that just kind of go like way out in pretty much every direction. I don't know about how thick this is, but we'll figure it out. Hopefully this is gonna be a trust the process kind of thing, and I don't know if I trust the process yet, but hopefully it'll look good soon. But it is gonna be very ugly for a very long time. I've never really built like giant trees. I don't even really build custom trees just because they're so expensive. That's why I actually don't think there's a single custom tree on this plot, so I have no experience with how to make a custom tree. I'm kind of just winging it. Hopefully it's not the worst thing ever, but that looks really great, so we're getting somewhere. Okay, I'm actually just gonna color these now because I always like make the mistake of not coloring my stuff and then I have to go back and color everything and it's really annoying. Let's make it the same color as these trees. So linen. Okay, actually I kind of hate that. Yeah, that's better. Hurricane gray. I like that color. Also, we can change the color later if I decide I don't like it. Okay, I'm just gonna try and smooth this out with like some rods and stuff because it looks really bad right now. So I'm gonna use rods to kind of connect to this, and then we'll add more branches, but these ones can just be, I'll have these ones be like thicker branches, and then we'll have some thinner branches that are just like rods and stuff. But let me just add a bunch of rods and then we'll see how that goes. Honestly, that looks a lot better just with the rods. It doesn't have to be like perfect. I'm gonna fix it even more, but I think I want like more height to it because it's not that tall. I want it to be like outwards, but also a little bit taller. So I think I'm just gonna add another one of these kind of like sticking more straight up. And then I'll add a couple more like thinner branches just with like rods, or maybe I'll just use some like thinner basic shapes. It's kind of hard to rotate this in the right direction. I don't want them to be like all kind of going the same way, but well, I don't know. It's not sticking. I want it to be like taller. Yeah, okay. I think I like that. And also we can rotate this because I did build it on this basic shape. So as long as I place everything on top of this basic shape, we can always like rotate anything that we don't like. But I'm just gonna add even more rods and keep smoothing this out. And then I'm gonna use some like large rods to also add more like branches. These branches are gonna be longer. It's just gonna take a long time to make them longer because I have to use the transform tool for everything. I only have 123k. Hopefully I don't spend all of my money on just the tree because I do also have to build the build. But I'll check back in after I do a little bit more smoothing out. Okay, so I added some branches with just some smaller beams, and I tried to make it like spread out in all the directions that they're going. Try and just like make sure that there's no like bald spots where there's no leaves. I think it's pretty good. I'm gonna use some like smaller rods to try and even it out because it still doesn't look perfect. And then I'm gonna try and use cones to kind of make the points on the end of these branches more like pointy. But I think it's going well so far. And hopefully it'll look a lot better when we add on the leaves, but that will be for later. And I'll check back in when I've kind of smoothed it all out. Okay, so I added a couple of smaller rods just to try and like smooth everything out a little bit, which it's not like perfect, but I think it looks a little bit better. I'm just gonna take this decal. I have it on my plot quite a bit, but I like it because it has these like branches, so it could still look like branches, and I'm just gonna size it up and place it around this tree. Okay, so I just added in a couple of those decals, but I think I'm also gonna need to use like non-decals just because when you look at them from some angles, like they're just kind of like 2D, but they look good from the bottom, I think. I think I'll definitely add in some more as I go, but I think I should use some like of the actual plants in the game just to kind of make it look a little bit more 3D. So I'm gonna try and add some other stuff and see how that looks. Okay, so I just added in a couple of bushes, and I think it actually looks really good with that. So it's kind of annoying to place because I can't like place it directly on the tree. I have to use like flooring, but I think that actually looks really good. So I'm gonna try and keep using a combination of plants and decals to add some more leaves to the tree, and we'll see how that goes. So here's where I'm at with the tree right now. It's not completely done. I've just been going layer by layer, adding in bushes and decals and the little vines, and it looks pretty good so far. I like how full it looks. I'm pretty happy with it. I think I'm just gonna keep going layer by layer until I go all the way up, and then we'll add a couple more details and see how it's looking then. But yeah, this is how it looks so far, so I'm pretty happy with it. Hello, I am just coming in with a little voiceover to kind of explain what's happening here because it does look a little bit confusing, but basically I am using a roof and making it tall enough to the height that I want to place more bushes, and then when you do that you have to put carpets on top of the roof because when you go to delete the roof it'll delete all the bushes that you place on top. So when you place carpets on top it kind of like acts as a barrier, I guess. So as long as you're placing all of the stuff you're putting down on top of those carpets, it'll not get deleted when you delete the roof. So I'm just kind of going layer by layer doing that. I'll place all of the bushes that I want on one layer, remove the carpets, and then delete the roof, and then make it a little bit taller, as you can see here. So just in case anyone else wanted to build their own tree with like the same process I'm doing, just to explain kind of how you would do that. all of the layering on the tree is done. Well, I need to go back and do some of these bottom layers. This is how it's looking. I'm not sure if it's like perfect yet. I don't love it. The decals, I can't tell if I like the decals or if it just looks like my tree is having like a bad hair day or something. It looks, actually, it's not that bad. I just need to go in and add like, make a couple changes, but ooh, with the mountain in the background too. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it, and then I'm gonna use like more beams and add some like roots around the bottom, and then we can get into the actual build once I do all of that. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. Also, I need to change all of those trees in the background to be actual cherry blossom trees now that I'm gardening level 8. But yeah, that's how we're looking right now. So I think it's actually going pretty well. Okay, so I added a couple more bushes and a decal right here, and then I added some roots down over here. And I actually think the tree is starting to look really good. I think it's coming together. So I think I'm done with the tree for right now. So this is how it's looking. I think it looks really good, actually. I'm pretty impressed with it. So I'm just gonna start on the actual like tea stand. I think I'm gonna put it like right over here, and then I'll add some like chairs around here. But I don't really have a plan for this part, so I'm just gonna try and find an inspo picture and then go from there. Okay, I found an inspo picture, but it was really hard to find one that was not AI. Pretty much all of them were AI, so I didn't get like exactly what I was trying to find, but I got something like good enough. I wanted to also add these little petals on the ground just to kind of look like petals that had fallen from the tree, so I'm just gonna do that quickly, and then I'll start on the tea stand. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. I also used them to help cover up the basic shape that we had built the tree on top of, so you can't really tell it's there anymore. I'm just gonna start building something, I guess. I kind of just want it to be like a stand and not an actual shop, especially because we don't really have space for an actual shop. So I'm gonna make it pretty small to figure out something to put right here as well. Maybe I'll put another tree right there, but I think this is probably a good size. I actually might just make it out of pillars because I think the walls are a little bit too tall and I can't resize them. So yeah, I'm just gonna use some pillars to make the shape of it because yeah, I think the smaller height looks a little bit better. I think the walls were a little bit too tall for this, especially because like I only have a tiny bit of space. So yeah, I think that fits in a little bit better. Okay, and then I'm actually gonna move this over like a tiny bit just so that I don't have to make everything custom because the floor can only snap to this grid. So there we go. Okay, I think I'm gonna use some fences as kind of like half walls, and then I'm not gonna put any on the back. Yeah, okay, I like that. And then I'm just gonna use like a basic shape to kind of make like a little counter right here. Okay, yeah, so that there's actually somewhere to put the drinks. I want this to be like a matcha tea stand just because they just added matcha into the game. So I need to add a little matcha whisk. I don't actually know how you make matcha in Bloxburg because I've never actually used it, but I'm just gonna use some basic shapes to make a roof pretty quickly. This shouldn't take too long to make just because it's so small. Okay, so I think this is all I need for like the basic shape of it. I'm just gonna go in and add like a bunch of decorations, also coloring this. I'm not sure what color I should make it. Maybe like just keep it wooden, a dark color, but not too dark because I don't want it to blend in with the tree too much. So maybe something like this linen. Okay, yeah, I'm just gonna color this, add some details, and then I will check back in once I'm done. Okay, so I think the matcha stand is pretty much done. I added a little painting, so I'm gonna put like a little sign on there once I make it, and then I think this is all you need to make the matcha, just this little thing, and then I'll put a bunch of cups of matcha on the counter when it's done. I didn't add any seating because I imagine that this is just like you walk up, grab it, and then go. So I think I want to add like a little bench just right over here. Like this little wooden one I think is perfect. So I'm just gonna put it right under the tree, like right there. Yeah. And then I also wanted to add some lanterns under hanging from the tree because it is kind of dark. So I'm just going to quickly do that. Okay, I just added in all the lanterns and I feel like it made a huge difference. They look so good. I'm gonna add a little chain to connect them from the tree. Technically, these are like little like table lamps, but I thought they would look really cute under the tree, and I feel like they're the perfect like little design, and they kind of match the like design I did on the side of the stand. So I think it looks really cute. I'm just gonna add a couple more decorations in this little area because I feel like it's a little bit empty right now. And then I will check back in when hopefully the build is done. Okay, I added in the bubble machines, so the build is all done, so let's go take a look around it. Alright, so here it is. I made it night just so you could see how bright the lanterns are, which I think they look so much better in the night. I'm really happy with how this build turned out. It might be my favorite build in this whole plot just because it's so different from all the other builds. This is like a town kind of city, so this is like the only like natural build that I have on the plot. And I think it looks so good, especially where it is. I love how it looks right next to the train station over there. I also added some little matchas on the table with this little matcha thing, and I added in the sign, which I think looks so good with the build, and it matches. It has little like cherry blossom tree branches on it, which is so perfect. And then this little bench is so cute right here. I just love this build so much, and I'm so proud of the tree. It was very expensive, as you can tell by my budget I have left, but I think it was so worth it, and this is like the perfect little space filler for this area right here. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!